Hello everyone and welcome back. Thank you for joining me in the office today. I am in our Avondale location in Jacksonville, Florida. Today I'm going to talk about some for sale by owners. I know that you clicked on this video probably because of the title. And so the question that we get sometimes is, because this market is already going so quickly and is so hot, I can probably just sell this home on my own, cut out the middleman, not pay an agent any commission, and just take all of the profits for myself. And the thing that I kind of realize whenever someone starts thinking about that is we probably haven't let them know the value of having a real estate agent. So there are a few things many things that we do that take a lot of the pressure off of your plate. So whenever it comes to marketing your home, putting your home in the MLS, finding a photographer to make your home look presentable. I've even had a listing before where someone saw all of the work that I was doing just going through the pictures, and they were shocked. They didn't realize just how much work went into the beginning stages before we even start putting it in the MLS for other people to see, to really do a good preparation. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that. And as a for sale by owner, a lot of times you're coming into the process and you already have another steady full-time W-2 job. You maybe work from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, some people 12 to 16 hours. And then you think about coming back home and listing your home maybe on Zillow or realtor.com, and somebody's just going to call you miraculously and say, hey, I like that house, I want to buy it, and we do a deal. We write up some paperwork. I'm not sure how many of you know what the paperwork looks like, but you write up some paperwork and you accept the deal. They pay you what you're asking for, and then we're done. And you just cut out the middleman, which is the agent, and you get to keep the commission for yourself. Well, the process is a little bit more lengthy and detailed than that. So even after we've taken the pictures, we go through really great lengths to make sure that your property is getting out to the right buyers. And every brokerage is a little bit different on how they market the property and the tools and resources that a broker or a brokerage may give you. I'll talk a little bit about what Berkshire Hathaway Home Services does. And that is, we put your property out in front of millions and millions of people, give you ads. We also send out postcards trying to find the right buyer. We also do some marketed retargeting ads for people that are looking for homes similar to yours as well. And we also have a tool that we use in-house that allows us to enter our buyers' needs. And so when something comes onto the market, a lot of times an agent will come in and look through and that criteria and say, hey, Monica has a buyer that is looking for a property that is in my neighborhood, that I have a house that I'm about to list in that has the same number of bedrooms, bathrooms that they're looking for. Property line and acreage they all match. Monica might have the perfect buyer, and then they'll go ahead and call us up internally and say, hey, I'm listing a property. Do you think that your buyer may still be interested? I'll say, yeah, I'll call up my buyer. And all of that takes place either on the first couple of days that the home is getting listed in the MLS, sometimes even before it's listed in the MLS, just to be proactive whenever it comes to finding you the right buyer. So we don't just market here in Jacksonville, we market everywhere, and that's very unique. So whenever you're thinking about the power that you're going to be putting into your marketing, it goes well beyond just saying, I'm going to list it in Zillow, wait for somebody to give me a call and find me on the for sale by owner tab, and then we'll go from there. The second part is, what if somebody does call you? Then you get maybe 10 people calling you. Well, do you just accept the highest offer? Well, that depends. And you have to know how to read the contract, understand the terms of the agreement, understand what contract is going to be best for you, because it may not always be the contract that has the highest dollar. Maybe that one ends up giving you a bit of a loss after whenever you're going through and looking at the terms. So looking at the terms and reviewing the terms, that's something that we as agents do, and we pull out and we try to help you understand what that buyer is looking for. Next is that whether or not that buyer wants to have any kind of clause where they can ask for repairs. That's pretty common. You probably heard about that part before, but whenever it comes to doing something for sell by owner, then you also have to think about, how do I get all of these people in to do these repairs that are needed, and before I get to accepting a house based off of these requests and decide which request to accept, how do I know what actually affects the value of the house? How do I negotiate that part? That is something that we as agents do, that we have tools that we go back through and we look through and we say, okay, this does affect the value of the house, this doesn't affect the value of the house, this is more cosmetic, and this might seem cosmetic, but this could actually potentially be a bigger issue, so we probably do need to address this because it could affect other buyers' decisions down the road. We are held to a code of ethics, and that says that if we do put a property that is that has been under contract back onto the market, we do have to let future buyers know why if they do ask. So if there was something that did affect the property value, we do have to let them know. And that sometimes is the reason why some buyers will only work with properties that are under agents in the MLS, listed under an agent, because we are held to that code and that standard. That's not saying that other for sale by owners are going to go out there and do that, but that's just another piece of assurance in the buyer's mind coming in. I've even seen for sale by owners sometimes having used pictures from a previous listing, and while that might seem harmless, it's just something that we as agents cannot do. We can't just use old pictures that we have not paid for, that are not actually for this current listing. We have to keep things up to date, and that is for one reason why some buyers will actually choose to work with properties that may only be listed in the MLS. So that is actually something to think about going forward. And finally, once we get to the closing, this is a huge one, so I really want you to listen up on this one. Statistically, sellers that use agents sold their house for over $300,000, $320,000 as a matter of fact, according to the National Association of Realtors in the year 2020. That's whenever we started having a very, very large uptick in the market, but there were still quite a few for sale by owners because it is such a crazy market, and you feel like just anything that you put out there on the on the internet, it's gonna get sold, and that's not always the case. If you don't know how to price it right, and if you don't understand the market activity as it is happening at that time and what time frames to look at, then it's very, very difficult to get that home price right. And for sell by owners in the year 2020, the average sales price was actually $260,000. That is a difference in almost 20% in using people that used a real estate agent versus not having used a real estate agent. Even if you paid an agent 10% commission, that sounds like it would probably still be worth it to not take that almost 20% hit. So lastly, I think that you should also know what to look for in an agent, and I think it goes for the agent and as well as the brokerage and what you're going to be getting. It's our responsibilities to really break down to you what you're going to be getting if you use the agent. It's not just about transactions, or at least not with Berkshire Hathaway and I. It's not really just about having a transaction focus. It's actually about sitting down and customizing what you need as the seller, what you're looking for going forward, and how do we get you there. We also have tools and resources that will allow you to come back and see how your listing is performing, and you can access those tools as well as we can, because I think that that's just as important. A lot of people, just because you're an agent, you can always go in and put in a new house into the MLS as long as you're paying your dues, but I think that it's even more important that you're able to look at the analytics, look at the data, and look at what all of those things are telling you, which is why in Northeast Florida, we at Berkshire Hathaway have the highest average sales price for our clients, because we have so many other tools and resources that we look at for our sellers to make sure that the home is priced right, to know when and where we can be aggressive. And we also work very collaboratively as a team. So even though I do work as a single agent, which there are other things that really are helpful whenever you're looking at who to select as an agent. And not only is it the relationships, but with the brokerage. How collaborative is the team that's in here with the brokerage? I know our brokers are non-compete brokers, so they do not go out there and sell other houses and, buy houses. They are really here for any of our clients and any questions that we might have. And that is a huge, huge deal, because if you as a seller or you as a buyer have things that are going on that are very, very important and pertinent to the sell, so if they're not there to answer the questions that need to be answered because they're out there working with another buyer or seller themselves, then that does kind of take away from you as our client as well, and that also takes away from the agent's resources too. Another thing to think about whenever it comes to that is that usually the brokers are the ones that look over our contracts, and so I'm not sure how it works each time in other brokerages. If you go for a home and the brokers also has clients going for the same home and they're looking at other contracts with you as well, then it kind of limits how much they can help you and the agent maybe even get your dream home. So just something to think about, and something that really did affect my decision whenever I was thinking about coming over here to Berkshire Hathaway, and I have loved it. I've had so many other resources and tools that I could give to my clients, and I'm sure that they've appreciated it as well. When it comes to negotiating the contracts and negotiating repairs, then we usually have a list of companies that are our go-tos. Not necessarily the one that we use, but we have a list of people and resources that we can use, have access to, so that while you're at work and you're focusing on what you're doing at your job, your 8 to 5, your 16-hour job, your 8-hour job, then we're making those phone calls so that by the time that you get off, then everything is done. All we have to do is call you and let you know, or call you and let you know that we have some ideas and some options. We've compiled a list of quotes, and this is, for you to pick from. That is a much, much easier job than going through trying to find at least 3 good quotes. How do you know whether or not they're actually good quotes? What's high and what's low? And you usually don't have the access to as many resources. So the answer to why you should never sell your home as a for sale by owner, well, if the fact that for sale by owners usually take a 20% cut in their sales price and in their take home is not enough, then also think about your time. What is it worth to you? Is it worth you know, you being able to focus at work and being able to go spend time with your family, have fun, while somebody else takes care of the rest of the work for you. My guess would be yes. If I have somebody that, or if there's something that I can hire somebody else for because I'm not an expert in the field, I absolutely do it because I want it done right. If you guys want to connect with me more or have any questions, then leave me a comment down below. Also, click my link below. We'll take you to my website so that we can connect and chat further. I'll see you guys in the next video.